Welcome to TNT Episode 18, Church and State. Coffee.
Today we're going to cover a very controversial topic. A topic, and we like to do this on this show. We like to cover topics. We love it. We like to raise up, and you can go back on our previous episodes and see some of the controversial topics, like the debate between Bill Nye and Ken Ham. Well, this is a controversial topic. It's the topic of coffee, which is why we have these nice coffee cups. Oh yeah, heated debate. And we've got coffee cups right here, which you might be able to tell possibly where we're located, generally in the country.
We're located in Dunkin' Donuts.
No, I mean like
well.
Regionally in the country where we're located. Although Dunkin' Donuts is everywhere now. But this is a topic that raises many arguments among people, but it's a topic we actually really enjoy. We both drink coffee, some at least.
I'd drink it more if I could.
Yeah, he gets like hand pain or something like that when he drinks coffee.
My nerve endings
really kind of weird, but that's a whole nother issue. What we want to talk about, though, are some controversial aspects to coffee. So we're going to look at some, first of all, taste issues when it comes to coffee. There's a lot of controversy on coffee taste issues. And the first one has to do with brand. And so we purposely, we're just stirring up the controversy by having these cups here that say Dunkin' Donuts. Some people think Dunkin' Donuts is the best thing in the world. Other people say it's horrible. And a lot of times there's an argument between Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks.
And I'm going to say right front line, I've never had Starbucks. I have had
I don't know
Dunkin'
how
Donuts,
you can even speak on the subject of coffee if you've never had Starbucks.
I'm ashamed.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. He has had other
coffee.
brands of coffee. And some people think it has to be named brand. Other people think it doesn't really matter what brand, you know. But what do you think? Do you think the brand matters that much?
I do, because I've definitely had different brands of coffee that even in different blends of the same brand, the brand does make a difference.
Okay, and do you have a brand you recommend?
I actually don't. I've had a couple generic coffee brands that I've liked more than Folgers and Green Mountain Coffee. So
okay.
I don't think that a certain one brand is the best. First of all, I haven't really had that many kinds, but I just say find one that you like and just buy that brand.
It's very postmodern of you. Whatever works for you.
Well,
we're not going to like judge and actually make an actual assessment. You just go with what feels good to you. What works with your taste buds. So,
well, if we're going to go that route, then I'll say I like the Market Basket brand the best.
Really? You do?
I do.
So now you've really discredited yourself. Everybody's turning this off saying, what? No, but sometimes that's true. It surprises you that companies that maybe aren't as expensive or well-known have some pretty good coffee.
Yeah, it really depends on what part of the flavor you like the best.
Yeah.
If you really only care about the cream and sugar and caramel and salt and it better than anything else, you probably actually don't care about the brand so much.
Yeah. Well,
you just care about the brand for its sake. But yeah.
I would have to say, if I was going to recommend some, I mean, I would tend to go with, I really like Green Mountain Coffee, which is a really good one in our area. And also Pete's Coffee I've had recently, and that's good. But even Folgers and 8 O'Clock Coffee, I think those are pretty good. What about another taste issue? Flavored, and I've heard people actually argue about this. Flavored versus non-flavored. Some people believe coffee should just be coffee flavored. And other people believe that coffee isn't good unless it's hazelnut or French vanilla.
I don't know about you, but I like just plain coffee and then putting vanilla extract.
Yeah, but you like Market Basket coffee, so
that is true.
We're not even sure if it's
flavor. Yeah, flavor-wise, I do like hazelnut, and I like Irish creamer, but
Irish creamer.
Irish creamer.
Not Irish creamer.
Not Irish creamer. But I really don't have a strong opinion on this. I sometimes like it just to taste
what
like
kind of creamer?
Irish cream.
I personally like regular coffee, non-flavored, with half and half, or cream or something like that. I just like that taste. I like to be able to taste the coffee. So that's my opinion on it. But that is an argued thing, flavored versus non-flavored. Now that leads to one of the other things. How do you take it? Do you take it with cream and sugar, or just cream or just sugar, or real serious coffee drinkers, I take it black.
I prefer cream and sugar in mine. I just can't take it black. I drink a lot more tea than I do coffee, and I don't even like my coffee straight. I like sugar and tea. I like sugar in my tea. I usually don't like cream in my tea, but I do like sugar in my coffee. I like, especially if it's been sitting too long or it's really strong coffee, then I like cream in there to cut a bit of the...
Well, of course, cream and sugar is really to mask the badness of bad coffee. But we're talking about if it's a good cup of coffee.
If it's a really, really good cup, then I would probably have some sugar and a tiny bit of creamer in it, because I do like the smoothness that it does add a bit, but if I had a choice, I would much rather half and half than a non-dairy or flavored creamer, because I don't really like the texture of those so much. So
yeah. Okay. Well, I personally I would just go with cream. I don't even need sugar anymore. But hey, that's definitely a personal taste issue. So one more thing on taste arguments is the strength of coffee. How strong should it be? That's something else people argue about. There are people who make their coffee so thick that you can stand a spoon up in it. You cannot see through it.
Cranberry coffee.
Yeah, basically. And then there's other people who make it so weak that
it may as well just be tea.
Yeah.
Weak tea.
It's
British
basically
tea.
colored water. Just slightly colored water, it kind of... But, that's another argument people have. I like it a little on... If I'm going to go with one or the other, I'm going to go with more strong. If I'm going to err on the side of one or the other, I want to go with strong. How about you?
That's kind of touchy issue for me, because I really cannot handle caffeine. If I have too much caffeine, the nerve endings in my fingers really hurt bad, and I can't focus on anything.
Right.
So I love it.
Sorry to laugh at you.
I love the coffee being really strong, but the stronger it is, generally the more caffeine it has, because you're brewing it for longer, and then also if you're brewing it for longer, it has more time to sit, and the tannins are released, and it gets bitter and harsh. But
Taylor tends to get into technical issues, so let's just go there right now. What it really comes down to when it comes to taste, just to kind of sum all this up, is it comes down to not only the quality of the coffee and how fresh the coffee is. That's a big thing. Has this coffee been sitting out for a long time and all that, but how you make it itself. You know.
And usually we just got my mom a little single-serving K-Cup maker for Mother's Day, and I've been using that recently, and
makes it pretty well.
I've just been able to put in a K-Cup, slam it down, and get a cup of coffee, and it's pretty good. When I really want to take the time, though, I take out the, make-your-own K-Cup cup, and I take the Market Basket decaffeinated coffee out of the freezer, and so that's what I love about decaf. I can make it as strong as I want, and it doesn't affect me as much. And then I put it in, and I'll actually not even put it in the K-Cup maker. I'll heat the water myself and stick the thing in and let it brew for just precisely the right amount of time. Take it out, carefully measure the cream and sugar in, and then drink it right away. And
that's the best cup of coffee as far as you're concerned.
It's the best cup of coffee I can get access to.
Okay.
But there's really not a huge amount of difference at the level I'm able to take it. I'd love to get a big fancy steamer and this and that.
Oh, you'd probably love it. We saw one of those machines. We were looking, and they have them for what, $6,000?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah. So you can make a tiny little.
That better be a good cup of coffee. Let me tell you. That's for restaurants and stuff, though. People that have business. But and then there's also the issue of you can make them using coffee makers. You mentioned the K-cups, and then there's also French presses. I have a French press that sometimes I use.
And the one you're using really depends on how thick the grain of the
coffee
grind is.
Yeah,
you're supposed to use different ones for different grains. I have not bothered with that really ever, but apparently it makes a difference.
If you're going to make it with a French press, you want to have a coarser grind because otherwise it kind of gets into your coffee.
I've experienced that.
Yeah, so you don't want fine grind. But when you're using a coffee maker, you can go with a finer grind. All right, well, that's what we have to say as far as taste issues. Let's get into one more category here, and that's ethical issues, and that's something else that can be controversial.
Mm-hmm.
Like with any business, people can be exploited in the business for
people
profits.
Will be exploited.
People will be exploited, and when it comes to coffee, it's really harvesting coffee crops, and so businesses, to make a lot of money, sometimes aren't fair in the way that they deal with farmers who actually grow the coffee and the people who work to produce the coffee. And so there's this concept that's come out. I guess it's actually a United States corporation, or not corporation, but program called Fair Trade. And you'll notice
UN something, but I really don't know much about it.
Oh, UN?
So maybe? I don't know.
Well, I saw something about US, but
It
either way, it's called Fair Trade. And they basically try to make sure that farmers are given a fair price for their coffee. However, like with anything, I'm sure that businesses...
Yeah, from what it sounds like, there's loopholes and
Yeah,
things
of
that
course.
it overlooks. It doesn't really look at the heart of the issue, it sounds like. And
Yeah, I mean, anything that you do, a program is only going to go so far, and really helping it to be ethical really comes down to how people approach it. But, all that to say, fair trade is something that can be helpful, I'm sure, in some instances.
It's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing. And we had on our title slide the term church and state. And actually that is what ultimately we wanted to get to, was a coffee company. A coffee company called Church and State Coffee. They are run out of New York State, and there are two guys that run this company, and they try to do things in an ethical manner. And so you can look it up. Their names are Ryan and Gabe. And I found out pretty recently that I think Gabe is actually a friend of my wife's cousin. So I mean, we're so close.
They've never met, but they're really close.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like if you looked at a graph, it'd be like the people Pastor Tim knows and Church and State. But they're still close to each other.
That's
it's
right.
Two circles, but they're still close.
They are. They're connected in some way. But anyway, we're definitely connected on the issue of ethics, and that they want to run their business in a way that is honoring to God. I think that's pretty awesome. And they roast their coffee fresh and send it right to you. You can get it for about $9.99 a pound, which is a good price. Of course, that's if you buy more. But
I'm gonna put the link to their site at the end of the video, so you can click on it right in the video and just check it out. Probably the place that you're going to find the most information is the video they have on their front page, and then if you click on their blog and scroll down a bit, I think it's right after their Christmas blog post is a post on their views on fair trade, and I think it's a good enough post that it should be one of the main tabs on their site.
That's our recommendation to them, by the way. But anyway, we hope that you've enjoyed this episode on coffee. Hope you've gotten some good insight as to at least how we view coffee. And if you enjoy coffee, then spread the word about this to other coffee lovers so that they can watch and see our opinions and stir up more controversy.
So that we can feed off and grow ever more powerful.
Yes, we're all about ethics here.
All about ethics. Not necessarily good ethics,
so
but
please feed our power-hungry egos.
Yeah.
We would appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again at our next episode.
Subscribe, spread the word, and see you next time.